guys, my name's Christine, for those of you who don't know me yet, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial about how to debug your program and set breakpoints. I decided to do this because on this project, Car Rental 2, I had these lines of code that weren't working right, and there weren't any red squiggly lines under the lines of code to show me which part I was doing wrong or what I was missing. And I found out a really nice way to use breakpoints to know what you did wrong. So let's get started. So this is a Car Rental 2 project, and right now it's all working, there's nothing wrong. But previously when I was working on it, I was missing this line of code, which caused many problems, and it made the program crash and it didn't work correctly. So right now I'm going to pretend that this code doesn't exist, so I'm just going to make it like a statement or green, which doesn't do anything. I'm going to run it right here. And right now I'm not going to input anything in these text boxes. We're just going to focus on this part, because that's where the lines of code was going wrong. So just going to input some numbers here. So, well, I put all this data in, but it's telling me that I need to show data and I need to try again, which doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to exit, and all of that is because of this line of code that I was missing. And it seems really simple right now, but sometimes there are many little mistakes that you forget, and it's nice to have this debugging strategy to pinpoint exactly what variable you're missing. So how do I start? Well, first of all, I put my mouse right here, and I set this try bracket right here, and what it does is that if something goes wrong, the program doesn't crash automatically. Okay, so first we go to debug, and then we're gonna toggle a breakpoint. So it highlights it a reddish color, and that means that it's gonna go line by line and check what you did wrong. So now that I set this breakpoint, I can run it again and use the same variables as I did last time. Alright, so it stops right there, even though it's still running right here, but now we can go line by line and check. So when you move your mouse over it, it will show you what you inputted. So right here it shows you that you inputted 100, and I did, so that's correct, so that line is right. And to move on to the next line, you press function F10, and that moves it to the next line. And right here you can see that it records every step that you do. And when I hover my mouse over it, it says 200, so that was the right amount that I inputted. So that's correct. And then I just keep on going line by line by line. And when there's an error, remember that try and catch bracket that I typed in? Well, if there's an error, it's gonna jump directly to the catch line, and that's when you know that there's something wrong. So we're just gonna go line by line, and don't be surprised that it takes a very long time. One thing about programming is that you need to have a lot of patience, so you have to go line by line by line, and as you can see, everything right here is correct, since nothing is jumping to catch. Oh, okay, so now that jumped to catch, which means that this line of code right here, there's something wrong with this. And what's great with the breakpoint system is it really narrows down your variable options. So before you had all these variables like total charge, miles driven, mile rate, day rate. But now with breakpoint, it narrows it down to average sale, total amount, and numbers of cars that were returned. So we're just gonna go back up here and see what variables that were having problems, and just go back. So numbers of cars that were rented equals 0, total amount, and we're gonna look at these calculations, number of cars rented. Alrighty. So I set these three to 0. So you have to put this information in mind that you set these variables to 0. And you go down here, and then you check. Well, this is a division problem, which means that whatever is over 0 is undefined. You see, when I hover my mouse over it, it says 0, because obviously I set it to 0. And that's incorrect, because whatever's over 0 is undefined. So now you know what causes the program to crash or pop up a message that you didn't input any variables in there. So that's the problem. So we're going to stop this debug process, and you go up here, and then so the decimal.parse lines of code, what they do is that they put what you inputted in the text box and put it in the calculations down here. So without this line of code, the program will automatically assume that you're using this variable right here, equals 0, and that's not right. So now we know this problem, and we can put this right here. We can get rid of the breakpoint, we can save it, and we can run it again. Now it works. So all of that because one line of code is missing. And not only can this work on one project, but anything. And I learned this and it really helped me, and I hope that this video helped you and you learned something new today about setting breakpoints and debugging. And thanks for watching.